Keep it steady. We're almost there. The glyphs suggest a timeline we didn't expect. Handle it with care. This could be significant. Visibility's dropping. Scan the perimeter.
2 a.m. screen, uncovering something ancient and mean. Got my smartphone scrolling through the feed, planting the seeds of a new conspiracy. Exhaling sweet clouds from my blueberry vape, looking for answers, hoping for an escape. The truth is out there, that's what they all say. The truth is out there, that's what they all say.
Chip Michaels, host of the Average Joe podcast. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check out my website, UncleChippers.com.
All right. Well, thank you for giving me a little clicksy. This is the Average Joe. I am your host, Chip Michaels, and today we are going to be getting into some of what everybody's been talking about. And just as like a nice refreshing a breath of fresh air, which is, I wouldn't use to describe this guy very often, but he decided to come through on this missing scientist discussion that everybody's been going and talking about. I mean, even the president, I mean, he had a meeting about it, and I, so far, am 100% in agreement with Mr. Matt Walsh about what we have to look at with all of these different cases. It's something that I thought about like from the get-go, because it was like, generally, if you're going to take this much time, like take this much care and precision in doing something of this magnitude, generally the first thing that you look at is definitely not what it seems or what you think it is. You've definitely got to take a step back and look in between the lines. And I don't think anybody has taken a second to do that. I think everybody has just heard that there's a lot of people missing, some of it's strange, and we're just looping them all together. Well, I tell you, the one that just keeps going, like, something is just not right about the Brown mass shooting. I only put it in, like, because it's considered, compared to other mass shootings, there's just something very different about this one, where it was like, even the killer actually talked about how hard it was to kill. It's like the hardest part was to actually kill, is what he said inside the videos, which I thought was a very, I mean, they didn't, I don't think they shared the entire transcript of his videos, but like this guy after shooting up the school, which I think he ends up actually shooting like 2 people and injuring a fuck ton of people, but he kills 2 people that just are different ends of the world apart, even from him, and then takes a stroll a couple days later to go see an old classmate of his, and just callously takes him out, almost in front of his daughter, like his little baby girl. I don't think she's very, like, 4 or 5. I don't think it was over the age of 10, and she actually ran to the door first when the doorbell went off. Nunzio. I don't even, I don't want to butcher this man's name. But apparently, what he has done for his field is basically solved a 50-year-old equation that people have been arguing about for 50 years. and he came around in like 2013 and like boom, solved it, and like threw his paper down. He was like, "Look, boom, 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 boom. This is the answers you have all been looking for." But he did this a while ago. Hence why he now is like the lead guy at MIT. Like he is in probably like it is like the 10th year of his like accolades after everything. So like he's really kind of settled into like past the honeymoon phase of all of his fame and recognition. Like at this point, he's probably like at the point where it's like like it's just it's the shininess even has worn off. Like he's like you let him have his prize, and you actually probably took him out just before it all started to get ridiculously boring again. Wow. I mean, wow. Yeah, it's kind of profound if you think about it. Um, but like right now, I mean, I'm still in the middle of watching Matt Walsh's video. I mean, it is hard to watch more redundancy, and I mean, his so far has had definitely some differing points, but all of the like, well, generally all of the actual stories are exactly the same though. So it's like hearing the case of each one of these for the millionth time. So it is still a little bit drab. And so I find myself just staring at Matt Walsh's lips that they poke out all through his beard. They're just like so poofy. So that's what I'm focusing on instead of the stories that I've heard a million times. But the thing that I had not really dove into just yet was the Colin, I think it is. No, that is the person with the this is she um it says she committed suicide, but she's also like got a bunch of stuff saying I wouldn't do it, but when you're looking at um some of her own footage talking about some of the paranoia like thing, I mean, she's got uh schizophrenia face going on, and the ramblings, and it's not somebody who actually looks scared. It's that manufactured scared where you don't even realize that you're manufacturing it though, or she doesn't, like, 'cause it's all happening inside the head. But like, uh, she's way too certain about everything without having any proof about anything. Like anything she speculates is the truth, and it's true all the way to the umpteenth level, and not because she has evidence of it at all, but because she's purely observed it and had the thoughts about it. I, I think I tend to call this wizard speak, and but sometimes the wizards do it internally. A lot of the times, what my first observation when the wizards do it, um, they definitely do it out loud, and it's when people say something out loud to you, and even maybe like to you, and they just expect it to be the truth because they said it. So I call them wizards because they believe that they're speaking this into existence, even though there's nothing, no evidence at all, and nothing leading to this ever being the case. But because they're saying it out loud, it just must be so. It's like that. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. Like if you have a pitcher of beer in your hand, just because you say this is water does not make it so. You will get shit-faced if you drink that whole pitcher. Like most of people would. Like, oh, it's not going to be very good uh, after about, I don't know, 5 minutes of being in that pitcher because it's going to be warm and it's just going to get worse. So, um, just undeniable things about that picture and the fact that it's beer. No matter how much somebody was to deny the obvious there, their inevitably their powers would prove to be uh, not there, and so the beer will remain and just get warm, and nobody will probably drink it because it's definitely not water, and it never really will be water. I mean, unless you were to actually do scientific process to it to change molecular content, and that heating it high enough to be able to evaporate the alcohol of it. I mean, that's one way, but it take forever and different. Yeah. Anyways, neither here nor there. But yeah, this particular lady, she definitely seems like she is off her rocker, which brings new light to the story. At the same time, I just don't. I mean, she's super paranoid and she thinks people are coming after her, but that doesn't. I don't understand how that turns into going after herself. You know, like because she is acting very irate and batshit, that's probably why people would think that it's par for the course. If you've ever seen this manic Jabberwocky in action, you'd probably go, "Oh yeah, that kind of makes sense." But if you start putting it together logically, like she's afraid for her safety, why would she all of a sudden jeopardize it on her own? I mean, unless she actually like got into the grips of a delusion to where like she thought her only chance of not suffering or being tortured or something like that would be to take her own life. Or she truly believed in maybe something that she discovered that told her if she like ate a bullet that she'd be fine. And like, but that was the only way for her to prove her point. And so I don't know, devil's advocate. I mean, this is the only these. I mean, that could possibly be it, and we would absolutely never know unless she left like a hypothesis. You find it somewhere, and you're like, oh shit, no, 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 not this one. No, that one's not gonna work. Oh, you generally shouldn't, make a hypothesis that you're gonna test out where, part of the outcome is that you did. Probably not the best direction for a scientist to go, of any regard. So, well, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna watch a little bit more of this, and we'll pop in and comment as we go, and then I'll probably go and any parts of it that I think are pertinent, and I'll come back and I'll add it in and show you what exactly I'm talking about. So yeah, go ahead and take a break, and we'll be back with the more missing scientist talk.
Friends and well met. Remember that God is good. All the time. It's good. It's time for the Average Joe's AMHO.
Old myths under a new light. Always being prepared for when it's your turn to make history in just one night. And how hard it is to stay focused on the good Lord sent you for, but you better be listening before you end up in the belly of a whale when you should have gone to Nineveh and tell the people if they don't turn from their wicked ways, the next message from above will be the sword of fire no longer at Michael's side.